Hey everyone, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. Today I want to talk about this Friend set 41757. This is the Botanical Garden set releasing on June 1st, and to me it is a really great looking set. So for the Friends range, it's usually not something that I keep an eye on. I'm more interested in what's coming out in the city, Star Wars a little bit, Creator, stuff like that. Even if I am looking at the actual sets instead of like an eBay bulk haul or something like that. But this one definitely catches my eye. At first glance, it doesn't really feel much like a Friend set. A lot of Friend sets are much more colorful and geared towards a different demographic. So making this one a little more generic is definitely appealing to me. The subject matter as well, definitely very interesting, something I don't think we've seen a lot in these kind of scaled Lego sets for a city or a town setting like this. So the Botanical Garden, it is more of a shell than a complete building. And you can see the one side here is pretty much finished off with half of the dome, and then the back side is open for the access to the interior, and it uses the mini dolls as the Friends style figures instead of the classic Lego figure here. So like I mentioned, June 1st release. This is an $80 set with just over 1,000 pieces, so your price per part value is decent here. And looking at the actual parts in the set, the ones that do stand out are the dome parts here. And just quick shout out to New Elementary. There is a pretty in-depth look at this part. This was introduced last year in some of the city space themes that are kind of ongoing. There it was also used as a dome, more of like a space habitat. So currently we've got this in the solid white and the transparent light blue. Now with this set it will be available in transparent clear. Definitely a good color for this part. I think something that would be really interesting to do with this set is actually get two of them, and then you'd be able to probably build a completely enclosed garden. You'd have enough dome pieces to make a complete dome. You do only need four. But the way these line up, it actually is set at an angle. So from this view right here, you're looking at the back corner of the set, but this face is the hemisphere cut in half right along that diagonal. Might get a little better idea of what I'm talking about with a look at this building. This is a mock on Rubricable that uses 4 of the white dome pieces in this modular building. It's not super clear, but you can see the seam for this part runs at a 45 degree to the regular building grid of the bricks. And then it just attaches with these bar clips, and that is all standard in the system. So there's not a lot of tricky positioning that you'll need to do to add this into a build. And in fact, you only need to attach one end, and then the other one can just be free to pivot. So it is kind of a different shell. Like the curves on here don't really match up with anything else in the system aside from the diameter, which is exactly 8 bricks. So a complete circle of these pieces would be 16 bricks across, and that kind of gives you the scale of this Botanical Garden set. The other thing that this does remind me of, color scheme wise, is the Brick Bank, that modular from 2016. I do have this modular. It's something that I've been wanting to do my expansion for a little while, and this would definitely look kind of like it was almost part of the structure, or at least kind of in the same style with the color scheme. Not everything exactly the same. You do have the little bit of the highlight on here with the nougat color. I believe this is a light nougat, and then some of the other details on here as well vary a little bit, especially all of the glass, but the sand green trim on the windows and the white especially being the main color does remind me of that modular. Just something else to mention here, a lot of the newer parts are showing up in this set as well. So like the dome, of course, 2022. Had to go to Brickset to get these images that I can zoom into. But the butterfly mold, I believe, is pretty new. It's also in the A-frame cabin, and I think we have some exclusive prints for this part in the set. And then I think this is, I'm going to call it the cornstalk mold. That's one of the first places it was used in the city sets in green, and we have that in brown now for this little bush out in the front. And beyond new molds, there's a bunch of parts in colors that are not super common either, to make all the plant shapes and the flowers. So cool set. Definitely thinking about getting this one. The value is there. The Friends theme and the other style of the minifig, not something that I collect a lot of, but I have got a few of these over the years. Might just give them to Annika and Jessica. That is the only other time we've had Friends on the channel, is when our younger sisters have reviewed some of their sets. So that was a little while ago, but Friends is definitely worth taking a look at if it's not something you've looked at before. I'm keeping an eye out for this set releasing in June. And yeah, hopefully this will inspire some mocks to go ahead and close it in all the way. I think that would look really good if someone was able to figure out how to do that with just 2 copies of the set. So, and if it doesn't show up right away, I might take a shot at it. We'll see. See you next time on Brick System Brothers.